The Antinori family has been making wine in Italy for 6 generations. As you enter the estate, it's easy to become awestruck at the sight of massive cypress trees and beautiful rows of vineyards. We had the good fortune of meeting Allegra at her family's estate named Guado Al Tasso. The estate is one of Antinori's 7 big wineries in Italy. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Welcome in Bolgheri.
Thank you so much. You guys have quite a bit of properties, just in Tuscany, 7 estates, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you were telling me, but outside of the Napa, there's more here in Italy?
Yes, we have 2 estates in Puglia, it's in the southern part of Italy. We have also one estate in Piedmont that was acquired in the 80s, and one estate in the area of Franciacorta, which is one of the most vocated areas for the Richard Champenoise wines here in Italy.
The sparkling wines.
Exactly, the sparkling wines. And also we have an estate in Malta and an estate in Chile, a small estate in Chile.
Cool. That's so I didn't know all about that. That must be very difficult to manage all of this business.
Yes, it's easier to manage the businesses and more than the business, the agricultural side in Italy. It's more difficult to be far away, but we have, our Renzo Cottarella, who's our CEO and also our main enologist, who travels there a lot. And in Napa we have people that have been working with us since 30 years, so they are really part of the family.
And the general question is, how's the harvest looking for 2015?
Very interesting. It's been a fantastic summer, fantastic year, so hopefully it will go.
Each spot of Tuscany is a little different, I know.
Well, yes, but everything seems very positive in this moment. It's just a little bit early because of the heat. There has been a big wave of heat this year.
I heard.
So it's a little bit early, but hopefully September they say it's going to be a hot September, a very usual September.
Good.
So this is going to be positive.
This is going to be positive. What attracted your family to this area in particular?
Well, this area is an area that we own family-wise since the medieval times, because the mother of my father is called Carlotta Gherardesca, and the Gherardesca family were the ones that came here in the medieval times and really owned 40,000 hectares here. So when my grandfather married Miss Carlotta Gherardesca, she arrived with her property, which was Bolgheri, and her sister, Clarice, married Mr. Incisa. So this is why Sassicaia was made from the family of the Incisa, and then we started to make the rosé because my grandfather, Niccolò Antinori, was already obviously in the wine business.
So you're technically related to the people of Sassicaia?
Second cousins. Oh. So my father's the first cousin of Niccolò Incisa and the Incisa family, so they are second cousins from us, and we're neighbors here.
Right.
And also my uncle Lodovico, so my father's brother, was the creator of Ornellaia, which is the other winery here.
You guys have wine in your blood.
So we have wine in our blood, yes, there is no way.
So what are the prime benefits of growing grapes and making wine in Bolgheri?
Well, it's an amazing little piece of land. Bolgheri, the DOC of Bolgheri has got 1,000 hectares in the DOC. So it's quite small. It's quite a new area, so it's the DOC of Bolgheri permits foreign grape varieties, which here grow very well, being such an area similar to Bordeaux. The amazing thing is the terroir, the microclimate, because the position of the hills that go on the hill, it's like an amphitheater, so there is always the breeze.
Right.
So although it's a very hot area, you've got the breeze during the day that comes from the beach and the breeze during the night. So you can make both whites, rosé, and great reds. And this also because the territory has changed very much. So you've got the sand, but you also have got the clay, the limestone, the stone, and all these hills called collina metallifere were hills that were full of mineral inside because they were giving iron. So we have so many different plots of land, and the terroir is so amazingly different from one plot to the other one that you can make many complex wines here.
Interesting. So, come with the benefits, sometimes come obstacles. Are there main obstacles too?
Well, obviously that you're right. It's a very hot area, so you need to hope for summers that are not maybe too hot, because then the wines mature, the grapes mature here very, very well, in the sense that it's very hot. And so this can be, sometimes it can make wines that are very rich and complex, instead of maybe sometimes risking to lose the elegance. But most of the wines here are fantastic. The Bolgheri Super, well, there's different denominations. You have Bolgheri Sassicaia, Bolgheri Superiore, and Bolgheri DOC. But so you can make fantastic second wines, which really also commercially have reached an amazing quantity of consumers that love these wines, because Bolgheri has such a strong name as well.
It does. And I know that you can't pick one child when you have a family, but what grape do you feel has the most promise here?
Well, Cabernet, obviously, Merlot, also Cabernet Franc for me has an amazing potential. Depends so much on the vintage and so much in finding the right plot. It's a very modern area here. It's not an old area. First wine was Sassicaia, that was made in Bolgheri, which was out. Let's say the first important wine that was out in the 60s,
right.
First vintage. So obviously from the 70s until now we have been experimenting very much. So we have to understand where each grape variety comes better now, because as I was saying before, there's so many different microclimates, so many different territories. I think there is a great potential. It is not an area for Sangiovese, for our experience. Not an area where Sangiovese can really express himself. A very good area for Vermentino, which is the local local grape variety of the Tyrrhenian coast. Rosé here come beautifully. Everything, also tomato comes beautifully here. It really is fantastic. So yeah, the rosé that we make, for example, called Scalabrone, is a very, very good, fresh, fruity beach wine. And here on the beach, practically 5 months.
It has a brighter color than the French rosés.
Well, we like that.
Yeah,
we looked for that.
It's very vivid.
Exactly.
Yeah. What kind of foods would you pair with that wine?
Well, fish, obviously. Vegetables. Here we have so much of this food.
Yes.
Fish and vegetables, and also the herbs. Like basil and parsley, or lots of thyme. They grow naturally in the fields. I pick up here asparagus in the springtime. I pick up all the salads coming naturally from the ground. It's such a countryside. So ortiche, borragine, these Italian kind of salads. You have fresh fennel coming in the land. So I think this kind of wines goes very well with that. So the tomatoes we do here, we have a tomato garden. Fantastic.
Right here.
So you need wines that are also a little bit lively. Well, people are less used to sweet taste here in Italy. But rosé is becoming in fashion here as well.
What is your vision for the next generation of Antinoris with all this, the hard work that you guys have done in getting these businesses launched and in the right direction?
Well, for sure, to add something to the company. Think that it's going to go on to the next generation. So whatever you do, have a long vision, which is very, very important in a family business.
Yeah.
It's actually the soul of a family business. And keep the quality always as the first thing. The most important thing is quality. So make sure that the wines are always well done, and always working on that, and opening probably new markets, and discovering and experimenting, and going traveling and being curious, very curious.
The visit with Allegra was fun and educational. On the following day, we were invited back to visit the vineyards, and that's where we bumped into Mr. Piero Antinori. This will be a day that we'll never forget. Cheers.
Cheers.